Western Spring Television. Ours it is.
Showing up every day and always is the number one or a major ingredient of success, and that's what we do here every time we show up, so that you, our dear and esteemed audience, can be properly informed about the situations around the country. It is the Thursday edition of Morning Spring, and I am welcoming you specially. My name is Evelyn Ohiola, and what we do on the show is that we speak to issues affecting us as a people, as a nation, as a country. We speak to critical stakeholders, social-political stakeholders, politicians, policymakers, to help us have a better understanding of the issues at hand. And you know I do not do this alone. Femi Ojo is right by my side. Good morning to you, and how are you doing today?
Good morning to you too. Very well. How do you do too as well?
I'm good. I'm good.
Very well. And Femi Ojo is my name. Thank you for being with us and staying with us today on the program. We usually look at the headlines and then get talking about several issues. And, you know, before we go to the papers, we have many matters that have arose, or let's say matters arising. It was a busy day at the court. By the way, it's been so many busy days at the court, you know, as many persons have said, especially on political issues. The court will always have, what to do, what to adjudicate on every day. But then talking about politics, it's been a lot. And, we learned the impeached deputy governor of Edo State, Comrade Philip Shaibo, has been returned by the court. His impeachment has been said not to have followed the right proceedings, the right process, and so that impeachment has been nullified. And so the court said he is and he remains and he should be returned as the deputy governor of Edo State, and all his entitlement, emolument, remunerations from April when he was sacked should be paid as well. And then still in Edo State, we understand that Aswe Godalo has been cleared and confirmed that he is the authentic, candidate for the PDP as well. So much for Edo State, Evelyn.
Yes, my popcorns are ready. I mean, when I heard the news yesterday, I was like,
Popcorns for what?
For the drama.
Okay.
Popcorns would always go well with the drama. So
yeah.
I got loads and loads of it for the next couple of months. Talking about the political situation in Edo State and Ondo State. And it seems that when it comes to drama, Edo State is leading Ondo State. That judgment.
And those two states will be having their elections later.
Exactly. That judgment from the Federal High Court, actually, I would say people didn't see that coming. And when the news filtered into the air.
That of Comrade Shaibo.
Yes,
right.
Being reinstated by the court. Most people didn't see that coming. And the order by the court says that he is reinstated, and also, like you mentioned earlier, his remuneration should be paid as of the time that he was impeached. And also, the court also ordered the Inspector General of Police to provide him with the needed security. So it's a win for Philip Shaibu, even though it's just a couple of months. But then, being reinstated as deputy governor, it means that we are going to have two opposing parties at the helms of affairs. The PDP, the PDP as the governor, and someone is he
hasn't left the PDP.
He was actually sacked by the PDP. Okay. Yes, he was expelled by the PDP.
Okay.
So that means right now he is a free agent. So he may as well work for any other party. And, after he was expelled, there were news that he actually kind of endorsed the APC candidates, Monday Okpebolo. So these things, it's drama really. And like I said, I have a full load of popcorns
and
just for the drama
rejoiced when Aswe Godalo was said not to be the candidate. In fact, he said it that, I told you, the primary that produced Houseway was more of a wedding reception, so that didn't happen. But then there is an update to that, because we learned the Edo State House of Assembly has immediately appealed they're ruling. So it is a lot.
It's a lot.
That your popcorn, you should have double.
Nah, it's not about to finish.
Your supplier should please be.
It's an automatic supply.
Because of what we are saying, you know, it is a lot. You know, I said something about the courts will always be in session, except when they are on break statutorily. They will always have something to do because it's about law and legality, adjudicating on different matters, you know, people seeking clarifications and interpretations. But that of political issues is one too many. And you remember, the courts were almost overwhelmed, even that many persons were proposing maybe there should be a separate court, especially for election matters as well. And these are pre-election issues that we are still having at the moment. And many persons are saying what is going on in the PDP in Edo State should be clarified so that they don't have this back and forth, and then they go to the polls, and later a big hammer will come saying the primary elections ab initio has been faulted and shoddy, and everyone produced by that governorship election, primary, should stand down. We've seen it before. It happened in Zamfara State. But then many persons are saying again, whatever is pre-election matter should be finished before the election. Once the election happens, pre-election matters should not be taken up again. I think that was what happened in Plateau State as well, when pre-election matters were being adjudicated on. And, many persons went, the floor, the tsunami packed, some lawmakers of the PDP, and the governor was only saved by the provisions of the law that allowed him to seek redress at the Supreme Court. And these are some of the issues.
So some of the issues, and we knew what news we heard also concerning the National Assembly, precisely the Senate, what is happening to Senator Ali Nduma, the reports about him not retaining his seat, or not his seats being
was removed.
I don't want to use the word removed.
Don't be polite.
Why? Come on, stop that.
He was sacked. His party wrote a letter to say this one is like a fifth columnist.
But of course, people also have, in the political mathematics, they've added 2 and 2 together. Ali Nduma, as the chief whip of the Senate, has been so vocal about a lot of things in this administration, and people think that this might just be what he gets as a result of turning against his own party, which is at the arms of affairs. So, people say if a senator can be removed as a chief whip because of what is said. No, now look at what will happen to you and I, ordinary citizens, when we speak out against the government.
And I think it speaks for something. Many persons will see it from the point of view of, is this a democracy or just a civil rule, which many persons have said, because if the voices of people should be heard, it doesn't mean that what they are saying cannot be investigated, but can anybody speak up? But then the issue, the final pass, came, coordinated and final pass came from his own party. Okay, but many persons will say the party will not move without some persons agreeing that this guy should be booted out. That letter that was read at the plenary by Senate President Godswill Akpabio, who is of the APC himself, was signed by Ajibola Bashir, the secretary, and the chairman, Abdullahi Ganduje, former governor of Kano State, say this guy is doing something that is it's not good, and he's undermining the president, and he has not gone through the necessary ways that has been laid out by the party to vent his anger. He went public and then wanted to in a kind of way, so get him off that chief whip position, which was given to the AP, so to speak, and he was replaced by his counterpart from the north. He's from the south, Borno South. And one Senator Mongono has replaced him. And that, he is no longer a member of the APC as well. And so many persons are saying, will this democracy allow for voice of dissent, even if it's within your party? And trust, as we go to the break very quickly, trust the handlers of the government to come for him. One of them wrote and said, what is he talking about? All these things as I was saying about security, about hunger, about people being angry, about political hijackers and kleptomanias, because that was what he said in that interview that broke the news. He said he didn't know that when he fixed his children in choosing government positions, and they talked about the CBN and some other places, that his children are there. He didn't think about that when he was saying some of those things. And many persons will say, really? Did you just find out his children are there? And many persons say, and they do me as well. Who they chop, no they talk.
And you know, two truths can actually coexist.
Coexist, yeah.
Yes, the fact that he didn't speak up. People also have raised up the fact that he didn't speak up during the time of Muhammadu Buhari, the last administration. Why is he speaking now? Because Salvana is on seat. People throwing in the tribal sentiments and all of that. But I feel the question should be all that Senator Ali Ndume spoke about or spoke of at that interview. Is it the reality now in Nigeria? If that is yes, then I think we should just allow it. Now, also, Femi, the question is, what will happen to the future of those that will speak out, especially senators who make law, if they feel that something is not going right and they decide to speak out? Remember what happened to Senator Abdul Nengi, and now with a ranking senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Senator Ali Ndume. Then what is the faith of those, or the fate of those who would actually speak out when they see any misdemeanor or any act that is not, you know, in line or in tandem with the Constitution?
Your guess is as good as mine. As we hit the brakes, many persons will say, what the unders of the government are saying is, and the parties, speak with the party, don't go public. And then you wonder if that is democracy, truly. And who will be on this matter? Trust us to be, because that is what we do here, speaking to issues, making sure you have an informed opinion about some of these things. We hit the brakes right now. We'll be back shortly. It's the Morning Spring on Western Spring Television. Don't go nowhere. All right, we start from the Nation, with the Nation rather, the Nation newspaper. And it starts this way: varsity students shun hostels over fear of bandits attack, says VC. I'll take that again. Varsity students shun hostels over fear of bandit attack, says VC. And banks to pay tax on forex business gains. That's a lot in which, you know, many economy inclined persons should see that story. It is a lot. There are many things rather that needs to be investigated, especially with that particular news. Banks to pay tax on forex business gains. And Tinubu kicks off payment of 32 billion naira to students as loans. Yeah, the loans, you know, it's worse. It has taken off officially yesterday. And the website in which the portal rather has been open for a while. But then it's good to know that this has finally taken off. 103,000 applicants successful. Not institutions ahead. It's a new dawn, says Nans. All right. And associate colleagues extol Olatunji Dariat birthday colloquium. Top strip: 401 Ocean Council's caretaker members resign. We uphold democracy. All right. That was what happened. And Senate replaces Ndume as chief whip. APC asked senator to quit. You know, we said that earlier. He was told, you'd rather, with your voice of opposition, you'd rather go join the opposition if you have so many things to say. Court to reinstate Shaibu as Edo deputy governor. George Okey's Ighodalo's candidacy in Edo. And bottom strip: Yusuf appoints dethroned emir. 2 others as second-class monarch for Karaye, Rano, and Gaya. You know, interesting development there. That will be all from the front page of the Nation.
And from the Nation newspaper this morning, we head on to the Punch newspaper. On the Punch newspaper, IOCs still causing crude supply crisis. Dangote refinery cries out. With double riders here saying IOCs referring us to international trading arms for crude purchase. Says Dangote refinery. Firm still pushing for dollar payment. Says Koran plays middlemen for hijacking supply. A North top applicants list as North tops applicants list as FG disburses student loan. All right. North tops applicants list as FG disburses student loan. You can get more details of that on the front page of, on page 16 rather, of the Punch newspaper this morning. Over 600,000 Nigerians sought asylum abroad under Buhari. This is a report here on the Punch newspaper. Over 600,000 Nigerians sought asylum abroad under Buhari. UI student protest 10-hour electricity rationing, tuition hike. And 401 Osun LG caretaker ESCOs resign over Supreme Court judgment. Top corner of the Punch newspaper this morning. Tinubu seeks extra 6 trillion naira as 2024 budget hits 34.9 trillion naira. FG gets over $751 million World Bank loan. PDP governors ask FG to fast-track minimum wage talks. And lastly, from the front page of the Punch newspaper, Senate sacks Nduma as chief whip over anti-Tinubu comments. Senate sacks Nduma as chief whip over anti-Tinubu comments. These are headlines making the round on the Punch newspaper this morning.
All right, we move to the Vanguard newspaper. Vanguard newspaper. Telecoms sector had hit by harsh government policies. Report. Everybody is telling their own tale. I don't want to say of woes, but they are challenged. And because many persons will disagree, they say, is it just telecoms? Harsh policies, these are riders, harsh policies whittling purchasing power of telecom subscribers, okay? Smartphone shipments shrink. Who's gone by? Operators' revenue deep, and Nigeria's golden sector about to lose relevance. Really, it was golden, really, or it is golden, but then it's losing that golden, shiny influence because of these things. And of course, just above that, you have governors of the South, you know, at a meeting, governors of the PDP, rather, PDP governors, governors of Bauchi State, chairman of PDP Governors Forum, Senator Bala Mohammed. And I wonder these things, Evelyn, and it has kept happening. The fact that somebody has been a senator before, now he has been voted for to be governor, he will still be addressed as a senator. You are now a governor.
Do you know some people still address President Bola Ahmed Tinubu as a senator?
Senator Bola Ahmed Tinubu. His wife as Senator Oluremi Tinubu. Why? We are full of titles there.
I mean, if he is no longer in any position, I mean, for Senator Oluremi Tinubu, I can still understand. But then for someone who has taken the highest position of the land as the president, and you still keep referring to him as senator, so that we all can know that he was once a senator, you know, a governor that is now the #1 person in the state, you still refer to him as senator.
Some
I mean,
say Senator Ademola Nuruddin.
yes, and you get to hear Senator Ashiwaju Doctor. We are just obsessed with titles in this part of the world.
If only the titles we have more influence on their workings, we'll have looked away. But then many of these titles just come for the title's sake. But then, governors of the governor of Bauchi State, Governor Bala Mohammed, Governor Sheriff Oberewari, Amadu Fintiri of Adamawa, Dauda Lawal of Zamfara, Siminala Ifubara of Rivers, Peter Mba of Enugu, Agbu Kefas of Taraba, and Chairman PDP, former Ministers Forum, Taminu Turaki, interesting, former Ministers Forum, Limo Eno, Akwa Ibom, Umo Eno rather, that's the clergyman, who's the governor.
Pastor Umo Eno.
Yeah, Caleb Muftuan Plateau, Sheyi Makinde of Oyo, former governor of Kaduna State, Ahmad Makarfi, at a meeting of the forum at Government House, Enugu State. I looked through this list. I didn't see Governor Adeleke.
Yeah, I watched the video. I saw the video while they were dancing yesterday, and you know, our governor was
you didn't see the cheerleader.
Exactly, he was conspicuously absent. A lot of people were looking forward to you know them seeing Governor Adeleke there, and they were actually looking forward to his moves. At least she's giving them something to
some moves. PDP Governors Forum meeting that held in Enugu. You could see them in the famous Eastern attire called Ishagu dress. All right, PDP governors won against presidential interference in Edo and Ondo Guba polls. Rider says hit APC on state of economy, throw weight behind new minimum wage, and protest against hardship. Zulu meet security chiefs, monarchs, religious leaders, and others. Part of that meeting, I think I saw in the news yesterday on our own channel here, that the governor warned the people, rather, he enjoined the people, rather, not warning, not to join any looming protest. And you say, okay, that conversation is neither here nor there. On the sporting scene, Osimhen said to join PSG, agrees 2.4 billion naira wage package. That's a lot. All the best to him in Paris. And how weak institutions aid corruption, threaten democracy. That's coming from Ganduje, Kuka, and Yakubu. What a lineup. Methodist bishops, Islamic clerics to FG, hardship may lead to chaos and anarchy. And that's the same warning that has been given from everywhere, including the suspended Anil Dume, the senator now. For attacking Tinubu, APC sacks Ndume as Senate Chief Whip. Really, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu has been touted. In fact, he called himself virtually the biggest Democrat. And we say, so much for a Democrat. Insurance assets hit 3.3 trillion naira as premium income rises 51%. And on the humor part, Mr. and Mrs. So making, okay. All right, maybe we'll rather postpone that one for tomorrow. But that one will be all from the front page of the Vanguard.
All right, and from the Vanguard, we head on to Daily Trust newspaper this morning. A Daily Trust newspaper this morning. Let's see what we have over there. PDP governors worry over hardship mismanagement of economy, with triple riders frown at government's inability to resolve wage crisis. LG autonomy assured under us will respond appropriately, says APC. And UI students protest fees hike, rationed electricity. IOC's selling crude at $4 per barrel above market price, says Dangote. And fire kills Kano commissioner's daughter, 2 others. Sad news there. May God give the families the fortitude to bear the loss. Senate sacks Nduma as chief whip. Export decries attack on free speech. And 250 repatriated Nigerians returning from UAE. This is according to NIDCAM. Tinubu seeks National Assembly's approval to raise a 2024 budget by 6.2 trillion naira. And someone will say, when it comes to the government or their budget or their salaries, it's so easy to take it to the National Assembly for approval. It's so easy to raise the budget. What about the salary of the ordinary Nigerian out there? Because his own budget too at home has risen because of the hike in the prices of goods. So why is it taking forever for us to have, or for the government, the organized labor, and the organized private sector to reach a consensus, reach an agreement, and just allow us move forward and forge ahead as a country? Last year, the Tinubu administration gave the vibe of, come March, when the negotiation for a new minimum wage comes, we are just going to, by April, it's all done and sorted. And this is July, and we still have, we still have we don't have a headway as to what the national minimum wage is going to be. So, I mean, it's all good. NEF or not, let me not say it's all good. It's all good or not. NEF condemns eviction under order issued Northerners in Delta. NEF condemns eviction order issued Northerners in Delta. That will be all from the front page of Daily Trust newspaper this morning.
And of course, leaving the Daily Trust, we will move to the Punch newspaper. And IOC is still causing crude supply crisis. Dangote refinery cries out. IOC is still causing crude supply crisis. Dangote refinery cries out with riders. IOC is referring us to international trading arms for crude purchase, says Dangote refinery. Firm still pushing for dollar payment, says Koran. Flays middlemen for hijacking supply. Many persons, seeing this will say, like this company have turned themselves to crybabies. This one they are crying every time. But then whatever needs to be done should be done as well. Are there agencies, either international or national, that sees to level playing field? Really? Because I don't get the reason why Dangote refineries they are shouting and crying and wailing every day about activities of some individuals or some groups or some persons in government frustrating, their business operation. And because many Nigerians will say, please, 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 it's your business. Please leave us out of it. Because this is not a federal government project or entity. It is a private firm, although federal government through the NNPC has some shares. But then we'll see, and somebody should rein in at this point so that we'll know that the company, Dangote Refinery and Petrochemicals, are just playing victim or they are just crying for their survival. And by the way, the president, the chairman of that group, has said in a forum that he never envisaged some of these bottlenecks he's seeing and some of those challenges that had not be. He had, an idea of how difficult it will be. Maybe he wouldn't have ventured into it. But then it's a multi-billion-dollar project.
Dangote is a businessman. He should understand that businesses comes with risks. I mean,
maybe it's an unfamiliar terrain.
Yes, maybe it's an unfamiliar terrain, but each business has
international dimension.
Has their
maybe
own.
That's why it's finding it difficult.
Exactly, has their own challenges,
Yeah.
And I believe this is one for the refineries just gone into. So I know as a businessman he would find his way around. I would.
So in essence,
I don't think Dangote would want.
Exactly.
I don't think that I should be offering Dangote and
advice.
Exactly. So he's a big guy when it comes to
Alright.
business, and I'm sure that he would be able to, wriggle his way out of this one.
All the best to him, because many Nigerians are concerned about the prosperity of that refinery only from the angle of making things easy for Nigerians PLY. Now, North tops applicants list as federal government disburses student loan. Okay, I've seen these, on different, media outlet, newspapers, and I'm wondering why that categorization of North top applicants list. There is a portal that was opened, and if students from the North are the ones, let's assume, by the way, because sometimes there is more than meets the eye. Now, if students from the North or institutions from the North are the ones that have done their due diligence, why are we categorizing it as North tops applicants? It will give the vibe of maybe there is an intentional way of making students from the North be the beneficiary. But what do I know? Then do what I do. North tops applicants list as federal government disburses student loan. Over 600,000 Nigerians sought asylum abroad under Buhari. That is a report, and it speaks to something. UI student protesting higher electricity rationing, tuition hike. It was a lot yesterday, and you could see the video of the students saying, "Haven't you done enough?"
What is it?
What is it? Haven't you done enough? Meaning you hike our fees, and then you can't even give us electricity, and it's a lot, really. And one of the songs they sang was that, I'm trying to interpret it now, literally, that the same education that you guys, that's Awolowo, the late sage, gave you people free of charge. It's the same education you people are charging us exorbitantly for, and then we are not even seeing the result. That was what happened yesterday at the premier universities. That's how they pride themselves. 10-hour strike, electricity rationing, and 401 Osun LG caretaker executives resign over Supreme Court judgment. Many of them might be talking to say they are law-abiding and they are seeking maybe a higher political office. And Tinubu seeks extra. Take that again. Tinubu seeks extra 6 trillion naira as 2024 budget hits 34.9 trillion naira. Okay. Federal government gets over 75 trillion naira. Sorry, I take that again. Federal government gets over $751 million World Bank loan. LOAN, loan. Okay. PDP governors ask federal government to fast-track minimum wage talks. And Senate sacks Ndume as chief whip over anti-Tinubu comment. So, that will be all from the front page and front pages of our different newspapers that we've been able to review and give to you this morning. We'll take a break right now. When we come back, we'll be speaking to issues and, of course, the state of the nation, matters arising about our dear nation of good people and great nation called Nigeria. Stay with us. Still Morning Spring on Western Spring Television. We'll be right back.